Okay, thank you. One, two, three, four. Good evening. We welcome you here to our regular city council meeting. We'll begin with our statement of our electronic meeting. Pursuant to Utah Code, West Valley City has determined that this meeting will be held electronically without an anchor location given the ongoing novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. West Valley City has determined the pandemic presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at an anchor location. This meeting will be held electronically. Members of the press and public are invited to view this meeting live on YouTube at www.youtube.com/user/WVCTV. To participate in the public comment period or scheduled public hearings, please visit www.wvc-ut.gov/public comment or contact the city recorder. Thank you. We note that we do have a quorum present. We have 6 members of the council, 7 members of the council present. Everyone's here. With that, then, we will have our Inside the City video presentation.
The My Hometown Project is a one-of-a-kind partnership that brings together the power of government, churches, businesses, community members, and volunteers to revitalize a neighborhood and improve the lives of the people living in it.
It makes me feel really happy that I see all these members of the community uniting and just addressing problems.
Here, a church building doubles as a community center where neighbors can get support with school, immigration, or legal needs, health and wellness services, and English classes. Kids can take part in sports, music, and after-school programs. There's a food bank that helps put meals on tables and takes stress off of family. My Hometown spreads into the neighborhood where volunteers and neighbors work side by side to make much-needed repairs to homes and make this neighborhood a place where people want to stay.
I think what excites me most about the My Hometown Project is seeing the neighborhood change in positive ways.
There is power in partnership. And in 2021, My Hometown will bring this power to 3 more neighborhoods, more than 2,600 homes and thousands of people empowered to help themselves, their neighbors, and their futures.
This is a one-of-a-kind program that's really unique that helps us identify their needs and create a solution in a partnership way.
Thank you. Next, we have our minutes, as usual. Motion for the minutes. To approve or adjust?
Move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Without objection, then, the minutes will be approved. Hearing no objection, they're approved unanimously. Next, we go to our public comment period. These is our traditional time on any topic. And so, Nicole, how many do we have on the phone tonight?
We have just one, sir, Jim Visak.
All right. Jim, welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor. Tonight, you're voting on the spending $500,000 on the veteran things, the veteran building to get it started. I'm 100% for that as a veteran. I'm proud to see West Valley doing something for the veterans. In the study meeting tonight, Councilman Bueller talked about, and it was something I had already had written down, You got two things coming up, PUD-1-2020. This is a new subdivision. And last week's study meeting, though, there was some concern in this one about the height of buildings. So hopefully you guys talk about that before voting on it tonight. And then the other one, as Councilman Bueller always says, it's the crossing the T's and dotting the I one. Last week in the study meeting, we talked about streetlights. Last month, the Clean and Beautiful Committee gave me a chore to drive around and look for our flags. Well, I went and drove on 3500 South, 5600 West between 31 and 2500, 7200 West, 6200 South, 4100, and 4700. I was shocked at how many streetlights are out. Something needs to be done in the proposal that you guys are talking about. The raising the money definitely needs to be done. We got lots of streetlights out. And then in 2 weeks, you're bringing up the new parking ordinance and also the budget. You're asking the parking compliance to do more, but you're not giving them any more people. Something to think about. I'll keep advocating for them to have more. Right now, there's no coverage on the weekend, and we all know how our streets get clogged up on the weekend. That's all I have. Stay safe, stay strong.
Thank you. That concludes our public comment period. With that, we'll turn to our city manager. Any comments at this time?
No comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Council members, any comments at this point? Okay, then we'll start on the rest of our agenda. Resolution 21-42 to authorize expenditures for the Utah Veterans Memorial Park. This is a project, and I guess first of all, I must publicly declare a conflict. I have been working on this project apart from the city, so there is a conflict. I've raised money for it and have been pushing this project for a while. So with that conflict publicly stated, this is a proposal to do the first portion of a project in property owned by the city, just north of 3300 South and south of the Utah Cultural Celebration Center. Back just a little ways off of 3300 South on some property there. The city will be utilizing approximately $500,000 towards that. The veterans oh, my mind just goes blank. I'm chair of the Veterans Hall Foundation, and we've raised $300,000 that we are able to commit right now. Those funds are in the bank and ready to be added to that. There will be additional funding that we will go out and raise in the community. Mr. Pyle has indicated some of those, but we will also be addressing that with others. This proposal is for a memorial wall with the names of Utah veterans who gave their lives or lost their lives in combat during the various conflicts. There will also be a flag plaza, some park area and monument and parking. Much of this, the city is involved in this. I know one of the issues they wanted to make sure happened at this stage was to make sure that the underground utilities and et cetera and site work were done so that those wouldn't have to be done around the rest of this. That's one of the factors. Others, of course, there is no statewide memorial for veterans of World War II. This will be the closest anything comes to that. Many locations have put up memorials for people within their city, people within their county. The state has monuments for Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, the Civil War, and Korea. But that is all at Capitol Hill. And so this project, this first phase will be that. Documentation is attached for that. We hope to be able to break ground by Memorial Day for this project. That's the introduction. And yes, I did go a little bit longer with this one than I normally do because I'm very closely attached to it. With that introduction, anything else the council wants to mention? Of course, it goes over to you anyway at this point, so.
Mayor, I move for approval of Resolution 21-42.
Second.
Second.
Properly before us. Any more comments? Hearing none, then we will turn to our city recorder. Well, we will, how do I say that since we're not physically located? I've always said turn to the city recorder because she's always right here. But we will now hear from our city recorder to take the roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilman Hume,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 21-43 to approve Amendment Number 2 to an interlocal agreement between our city and Salt Lake County for security services at the West Valley Library. This amendment modifies the rate of pay for the officers, which is basically a $5 per hour rate increase. And that rate has stayed the same. And of course, this is, West Valley agrees, an area where we need to make sure we have security, since there have been some concerns in the past, being right here in the city center and near the end of the tracks line. That is the introduction to this issue to the council.
Move for approval of Resolution 21-43.
Second.
Properly before us. With that, then, we will ask our city recorder to take the roll call vote.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Hume,
Aye.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, under new business, we'll consider application PUD-1-2020. This filed by Russell Platt. This is final plat approval for the Alpizar Plan Unit Development. These will be 50 units located on just barely over 3 acres of ground. This was recently rezoned from C2 to the RM zone. And these will be units ranging from, I think it's 1,750 square feet to 1,950 square feet. There will be 3 bedrooms. Looks like a nice development, guest parking spaces, and this is right off 3500 South. So, neighborhood there in the Sunnyvale Heights. With that introduction to the council.
I move forward with the for approval, PUD-1-2020.
Second.
Properly before us, any further comments? Seeing none, hearing none, then we will have our city recorder take the roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
No.
Councilman Bueller.
Aye.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt.
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes by majority.
Now, I guess I should have mentioned here before the vote, but there was a question about the height on the south side of this project and being 3 stories, perhaps too high, but because it had proceeded to the point that it was, this is not able to be modified at this point. So it had to go forward. But it's understood that there are strong feelings and we can all vote the way we want, can't we? I've been there more than any of you when it's just me, so. Anyway, now we go to our next item, which is application SMI-10 2020, filed by Federico Composano, final plat approval for Laura's Ridge subdivision at 3181 South 40th West. And this is dividing it into 2 lots on basically a half-acre piece of ground. And because this met all the requirements, this is one that came forward to us formally, but it is already essentially approved because it does meet every requirement. And so that's enough introduction to that, to the council.
Move for approval of application SMI-10-2020.
Second.
Properly before us, hearing no further comments, to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilman Nordfelt.
Yes.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilman Bueller.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That concludes for our regular city council meeting, our regular agenda, as there is no need for a closed session. Any final comments from the council or from our city manager? We do remind you that next week, being the 5th Tuesday, we will not be holding either our study meeting or our regular city council meeting. So our next meeting will be 2 weeks from tonight. With that,
Motion to adjourn.
without objection, we will stand adjourned. Hearing no objection, that was unanimous. Thank you all. Be safe and have a good evening.
Thank you.